Hey guys, welcome to Tickzon Mentorship Scheme, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. Thank you. And today we're going to be discussing what are credit reference agencies. I had to try and say that a couple of times, and how to check your credit score. Now, in the UK, we use three main credit reference agencies: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Now, each of these are essentially companies and business companies in which gathers information on all of you, literally on all of us. Every single person here has a credit score, and these guys are the ones who prepare your credit score and prepare and gather your credit history, in which what creates your credit score month per month, because it just changes every month or every 30 days. Experian is by far the biggest, and then Equifax and TransUnion are like a quick second, third, depending on who you ask. TransUnion used to be called Core Credit as well. So they have different ratings in which your credit score is derived from, in which from 0 to 100, and your score, that's the rating, and then your score will be 80, for example. Equifax is from 0 to 700, TransUnion is from 0 to 710, and for Equifax is from 0 to 999. That's the reason why one credit score doesn't necessarily mean you have a good credit score everywhere else. Not all credit scores are created equal. Majority of banks, pretty much all banks, use Equifax. Pretty much all banks use Experian, which is the biggest, whereas a lot of banks also use Equifax, and other banks also use Equifax and TransUnion, and some banks only report to one of them. So most banks report to pretty much all of them. So they're the ones in which, when you're any financial thing you're having, whether it's your statements, whether you're missing your payments, late payments, all those things, they're obliged to report it to these companies who collate your file. Now some banks only report to one credit reference agency. So for example, if you're using Santander or most of the high street banks, they all report to Experian. All credit cards report to all of them, pretty much, as far as I know. Majority of all credit cards report to all three of them. Whereas, for example, someone like Monzo, which most of you guys use, they only report to TransUnion. So if you won't see your Monzo account, you will not see your Monzo bank account on your Experian credit score or your Equifax credit score, but you will see it on your TransUnion. For example, your HSBC, they report to Experian or Equifax in terms of when they check your credit score. So they don't all use all of them, it depends. So that's the reason why it's important that before you do use any financial product, before you ever make a big purchase, you kind of find out which credit reference agency they actually use. Now understand the second thing, not all lenders are looking for the same thing. Now your credit score is almost like an indication of the likelihood you're going to get a loan, get a mortgage, get a house, get a rent, get a phone bill, phone contract, etc. All these things, but it doesn't mean it's not 100%. So each lender, whether it's a bank, whether it's an institution, when they do a hard search on you, they're looking for different things. Whether it's, have you missed payments, how regular is it, your income, all these kind of different things. So they do rate you differently. For example, most high street banks have their own internal rating of a person, especially, for example, Santander has an internal rating in which they rate you if you use their bank, if you're banking with Santander, and let's say you apply for a loan or a bank or a bank account, you apply for a loan or a bank account, etc. All these kind of things, they have an internal rating of their own. So it's not purely just your credit score, but if your credit score is strong, 9 times out of 10 it'll be good. But then ultimately there's other things that come into it. So don't think that if you have a great credit score that automatically you'll be accepted. All your information is being recorded, and all your information is being recorded, and these companies are required to basically handle and collate these things. So if you're not in the electoral role, sign up to that, because it will help impact your credit score. Before you go to take a loan, before you go to open an account, before you go to, just try and find out, especially when we work with banks, what credit reference agency they actually use before you go, because it's better for you to kind of know what position you're at. And then if you If your credit score is bad, do not go and pay somebody, oh, credit repair, blah blah blah. No, no, no. Just honestly stick with us, and we'll help you get from 0 to 999 or 710 or 700. Now, how do you check your credit score? Now, firstly, it does not affect your credit score to check your credit score. I don't know where this myth came from. I don't know where this thing came from. It's almost like see no evil, hear no evil. Your credit score is out there. It does not change. It changes monthly, but it does not change because you didn't see it. Now, all the credit reference agencies are required to give you one free credit score per year. Experian, if you want to get your free Experian credit score, go to Experian. They give you a free update of it once every month, and that's for life. So every 30 days you don't have to pay anything, whereas if you pay $14.99 per month, you will see the daily updates if there's any changes, etc. anytime somebody searches your name, etc. For TransUnion within the UK, the best app to use is Credit Karma. No one's paying me for these things. It's Credit Karma. It updates every week or 2 weeks. It says every week, but in reality, most of the time it's every 2 weeks, depending on the movement that you're actually having. That will tell you your TransUnion credit score. And ClearScore is good to check your and ClearScore is a good app to check your Equifax credit score. If you do have a complaint or you have an issue, the reason why you need to check your credit score is to make sure that everything in your credit score is great, correct, address all these kind of things. And then ultimately, if you have a problem, you can either complain through the app themselves or send an email or letter directly to the credit reference agency to correct any issues. Also, for Experian, if you want to have a little bit of more in depth and still free, if you don't want to pay the $14.99, these are major keys out here. Go to moneysavingexpert.com, Credit Club. Join them. They'll give you your Experian credit score. They'll let you know like where you rank in terms of getting credit cards, loans, etc. And they'll give you a more in-depth thing. Yeah, guys. So that's just been what the credit reference agencies are and what they do. They collect all your data, collect it and build up your credit score, and over time they build up your credit history. Now, if you don't have a credit history, go and make a credit history. Go and start building your credit history. A credit card is a very good way to use it. Very good way to do that. But if you're going to do that, go and learn how to go and see what a credit card is and how to actually use it before you go and use it. It's not about incurring debt, guys. It's about being financially smart. So thank you for rocking with us, and thank you for being here at Tickzon Mentorship Scheme. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you.